Welcome to ACC Student News.
The news students can use. I'm Kharl.
And I'm Marissa. Here are this week's stories.
The Indiana House voted 67 to 29 to advance a bill to the Senate. This bill is looking to enact an additional 1% tax on all dine-in and take-food drinks sold in Hammond. The 1% tax would be an extra cent for every dollar spent. All the money collected through this tax may only be used in connection with the West Lake Commuter Rail Project, downtown redevelopment, and expansion or improvement of the Hammond Sportsplex or Wolf Lake Pavilion. A 1% food and beverage tax authorized by state lawmakers a year ago to fund a community recreation project in the town of Maryville.
A semi-truck hauling circus animals burst into flames near Indianapolis this week. Two Indiana state troopers were patrolling the area on interest in Grant County, 60 miles northeast of Indianapolis. The two officers rushed into the smoky trailer to rescue the circus animals and were able to fence in the camels, zebras, and horses between the makeshift barriers until other trucks from the Shrine Circus arrived. The semi-truck was destroyed in the blaze, which was attributed to equipment failure. None of the tent animals or their 57-year-old driver were injured in the accident.
The Indiana House passed a bill to prevent cities from banning the sale of dogs at pet stores, which sought to increase shelter adoptions rather than unethical puppy mills. This bill will require pet stores to keep detailed records of the dogs they buy and sell and new maintenance standards. Both stores and rescue operations would be subject to random inspections and fines if they violate the law's provisions. This is the second attempt in many years at restricting the cities from regulating pet stores. Indianapolis and Carmel are among the cities that stand to have their pet stores bans revoked under this bill.
If you're planning on protesting at the State House, you need to make sure you are in compliance with some new rules. The Indiana Department of Administration has laid down some new rules that will apply at their Government Center campus, including the Indiana State House. They are putting restrictions on signs that are brought, such as if you're planning on taking one to the State House, it cannot be on a stick or pole. And the sign inside the building cannot be larger than 24 by 24. They also place a noise ordinance stating that you cannot get too loud, excessive, or disruptive noise is prohibited, so leave that megaphone at home. These have been put into place not to impose on First Amendment rights, but instead for safety reasons.
A therapy horse suffered from catastrophic injuries last week after he got stuck in a tree in Maryville. Joe the therapy horse was found ankle deep in the mud from the snow and rain while he was out in the pasture. An employee, Morgan Fields, said that they were going to bring in the horses, but Joe wasn't moving. When they approached him, they noticed his hoof was stuck in the V of the tree. Joe eventually passed out from his lungs being compressed for too long. They were able to get him lifted and removed from the tree. According to Fields, Joe is not out of the woods, but is doing much better.
Universal Music Group has stated removing the music catalogs of some performers due to a licensing agreement with TikTok. UMG stated that the social media giant TikTok attempted to solidify the licensing agreement that recently expired, calling it a bad deal. Their concerns were with adequate compensation for artists and songwriters, protecting against AI-generated music, and online safety that protects the artist from hate speech and harassment. TikTok fired back, stating it was disappointed in the company's decision and accused them of not looking to the interest of artists and songwriters. All UMG-owned music on TikTok will be muted.
The Jackie Robinson statue was stolen from Kansas Park, was found burned and dismantled. Fire crews located the remains of the prized bronze statue when they received a call about the trash fire at the Garvey Park. The statue cost about $50,000 when it was installed in 2021. Police are still investigating the theft, but no one in custody as of now. There is surveillance video of two people hauling the statue to the truck that is now later found abandoned. The MLB and 30 clubs have announced that they will have the statue replaced with a GoFundMe fundraiser that has already more than $156,000 raised.
Today is Groundhog's Day. In tradition, the infamous groundhog's Punxsutawney Phil was brought out of his burrow to let us know whether or not we will have an early spring or longer winter. The tradition takes place in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and started 138 years ago, dating back to 1887. So what was his prediction today? Well, Phil did not see a shadow, which means spring is right around the corner. Let's hope that he's right.
That's all we have for this week. I'm Kharl.
And I'm Marissa. Make sure to check out the rest of our videos on YouTube.
And follow us at ACC TV Hammond.